All right, ladies and gents, welcome to the third place match for Warlords 3. This, of course, is right before the big final. Sebastian and TaToH have had a crazy run, and both players impressed so much in this tourney. TaToH may be a little bit more expected to get into that top four. I say expected as if it's easy, but he's just that big a name. But Sebastian, obviously, a crazy story who was the first player to take games off the Viper. Remember, Viper went 4-0, 4-0, and then was able to beat Sebastian 4-2. And so the Uruguayan, he's gone for the Incas here for Land Madness, which is a little bit rare. Not the first time I've seen Incas picked for a map like this, but normally I would describe this as a map where you tend to see a lot of scouts. And I don't know what on earth is happening down here. There's normally small woodlines, but these are some chunky woodlines down here. Shouldn't play a role, but I saw some people comment on it, and I figured you probably wanted to see it, so there you go. This is a best of 5. This is not a best of 7. And there is a prize point increase. If someone could maybe... Ooh, mods. Actually, could we add the WL3 commands to the end of the title? And actually, while we're at it, if someone could use the WL3 command in my chat and maybe pull up and tell me the prize pool boost that these guys get if they win this. Because there should be a prize pool increase on this. And in a $45,000 tournament, it should be relatively considerable, I'd say. Now, while money is a big factor, right? And that is some level of motivation, I imagine. There is also the aspect of competition. And sometimes the third place matches don't quite have that same feel with some players. I would not expect Sebastian and TaToH to be those players. I've just seen some third place matches where people are going YOLO. But yeah, if you could go... Basically, if someone can check Wikipedia and just see what third place gets versus fourth place, that'd be amazing. I'm curious. It will have all the other information, all the other answers to your questions there if I can't, you know, shout it out here. 9 villagers start here. Pretty easy breezy start here for the Incas because they don't need to build many houses. And Sebastian's going to be up. And because they have a food discount on all their military, we're probably going to see lots of spears and skirms here. Okay, so this is a best of 5 for $1,000. That's insane. Yeah, so this should be, I mean, from the financial perspective, I don't know how many people here get to play best of 5s over, what, 2 hours? Maybe 2.5 hours for $1,000. I certainly have never been in that position, so from the financial perspective, they should absolutely bring their highest level here. Obviously, the main sponsor of the tournament's Microsoft, so it was, I think the prize pool started at 45K, and there's been half of all donos on MemStream have also gone to the prize pool, so that... Just check Wikipedia if you want to see the full prize pool split. But lots of money on the line here for Warlords. So, I don't think there's going to be many surprises here. I think TaToH is going to expect the scouts and the skirms. He's moving out to find Sebastian. Can be a little bit more difficult to find Sebastian. On this map versus other maps, just because there's... Some of the signs you're looking for to find someone are kind of everywhere, like the berries, for example. But he gets here in time. He sees the barracks. And there's the range from Sebastian. So yeah, this is just new-ish meta, I suppose, to see the spears and skirms. It is rather slow, though, and to go spears and skirms without scouting intel in your opponent could be really awkward for Sebastian. So he really needs to keep this eagle alive. And to do so, probably needs to keep the spear with the eagle, honestly, at this point. Eventually, the Incas can go into eagles, which is more of their killer move, as we saw Sebastian do against Viper the other day. And TaToH's going to be adding more scouts here. Doesn't really know where Sebastian's resources are. Excuse me. But Sebastian should be walling up. Sorry, I've got a bit of a bug in my throat. I'm going to try and drink water here. So what I always feel is so awkward as a scout player is that if players play safe and just wall up like this, you are immediately in a position where you have to shift out of scouts and go into skirms. And it's an uncomfortable thing to do because skirms against an eagle civilization is a little bit risky. But if there's spears on the field, you need the skirms. And Sebastian's thinking is, I'll just make my own skirms. And 2 more spears, 2 more skirms advancing forward. But it has been, like, very slow, right? It's by the time he gets over here, TaToH should be able to have an army to meet this. And what you can't do now if you're Sebastian is ever be moving forward without 2 spearmen in a group. Against Magyars, if it's just 1 spear, these scouts are going to pick it off. And TaToH will have his own skirms at home. But this is going to be awkward for him. And if he's not careful, he could lose villagers to this. While meanwhile, he's not able to kill any villagers over at Sebastian's side. Anyone else just get annoyed watching this type of meta? Just like the spears and skirms? And I don't mean annoyed as if it's not fun to watch. Like annoyed for the player. Because I find these types of strategies really difficult to deal with. It's just super messy. And so just watching it, I kind of feel for TaToH right now, but it does look like he still has enough skirms. And it's just crazy. Like, look at how much army Sebastian has right now. He's got 15 army, and he's going to send these guys forward as well. It's crazy. But TaToH's fine at home to force away the spears and has enough scouts. And TaToH's chilling. So this guy goes, at T90 official, say something funny. I have an idea, but it might come off a little mean. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Now, I'm not going to say something funny. I'm not, what am I, your freaking dance monkey? You just show up and say T90 official, say something funny, do something funny. This isn't entertaining enough. Come on, man. This is excellent. This is amazing gameplay here. Skirmishers are killing the skirmishers. This is amazing for Sebastian. It's just such a weird play, right? But it's just completely taking advantage of the fact that the Incas spend so little food on this, and they don't actually need that much wood for houses because they have so much pop space per house. He's got 6 houses right now. Meanwhile, TaToH's got 9. And he actually has to drop a tower to defend from this massive blob of skirms and spears coming forward. And TaToH did try and kill a villager there on the farm, so wasn't able to. Sebastian's played really well so far. And TaToH losing those skirms is really the biggest thing for him. Because, again, you want the skirms to kill the spearmen. If the spearmen are out of the picture, then the scouts from TaToH can kill these skirms. Remember, Incas are a jack-of-all-trades civilization, so they can kind of counter everything. They've got the slingers, which no other civ has. They do have halb. They have good archers. They have good skirms. They have good monks. They have good eco because of the free llama, as well as the houses. And then, on top of that, and this is a more recent change, everything is also cheaper. And I remember immediately after that change, I remember like most pros were just like, okay, Incas are top 5. On land maps, Incas can be top 5 just because of how smooth they play. But I do feel that Sebastian is going to have his work cut out for him because of how slow this army is. Eventually, you do want to switch into something faster. And you could tell, like, man, Sebastian's really paying attention. TaToH is really trying to get villagers on farms there. Sebastian does need to be careful. He only has 4 spears now. Make it 3. And this might be a situation where TaToH brings his scouts home to try and get it cleared. It's still very frustrating for someone in TaToH's position to have to pull villagers so consistently. Notice how messy it's made things for TaToH. He actually just got housed. So he's falling behind in villagers just because of how chaotic this is and forgetting houses. And he's about to click up to Castle Age. So will Sebastian. Both players using the market. And TaToH will want to kill this. Sebastian needs to keep those spears alive for when the scouts engage. But when he does engage, they'll be running forward so the skirms can hit them. TaToH trying his best to kill the spears, and he will finish off the spears. In the end, TaToH's defended decently enough. He did lose the early skirm mass. But I think TaToH will be happy with this. He's on his way to Castle Age still. And now, the bigger thing, I'd say, is Sebastian's got an army of skirms, which don't really add a lot of value. Those skirms were basically out there for the feudal age push. At this point, he's going to shift fully into barracks. I do consider that to be fine, though, right? I think if he's going into Pikeman and Eagle, it could be pretty good. And TaToH is clearly expecting that there's going to be some type of raid as he's just slowly walling up every woodline. Just another thing here. It makes me really feel for TaToH's position. TaToH didn't sell his stone. TaToH had to build a tower because of the early push. So TaToH's going double range. He will not be able to drop a TC, which is a pretty big deal. It seems like the plan for TaToH is Cav Archers. Sebastian will have Eagles, which is good enough against that if he can get enough Eagles. Obviously, long term, Inca Eagles is amazing against Cav Archers, but Magyars can always mix in some Knights too, so it can get pretty awkward here. Someone said, this cast is going to be pretty boring because apparently no jokes are going to be made over the next 6 hours. You're a joke, bro. Listen, you can't, everyone knows that the key to a good joke is you can't just ask someone for the joke. Best jokes are situational, all right? All right, fine. You want a joke right now, chat? You want a joke right now? I'll give you a joke. You want a joke? I'll give you my dad's favorite joke. That should give you an idea of what type of joke it is. Well, let me clarify. It's not my dad's favorite joke. It's the joke that I tell or I told as a kid that made my dad laugh the most, and he still will occasionally ask me to retell it. My dad is 70 years old. You ready? So there's 2 muffins in an oven. And the one muffin says, boy, it's hot in here. And then the other muffin goes, oh my God, a talking muffin. That's the joke. That's it. I don't know why. My dad's obsessed with that joke. He thinks it's so clever. There's the joke. That might be a joke that's my dad's favorite joke that I've ever told. That might also clue you in on how bad my jokes actually are, if that's his favorite. But yeah, there you go. It looks like people thought it was funny. I appreciate that. 3 ranges from TaToH. Huge army commitment right now. And he is actually headed over to Sebastian's gold. Sebastian chose to TC the wood line here, but and then TC this gold. But this gold is still exposed. And here he comes with Eagles. I mean, if TaToH doesn't have an area walled, those Eagles are going to find it. I think TaToH is expecting Sebastian to have this protected with army, which he really does not. And he's trying to hit the wood line, and we'll see the TC now. And Sebastian knows he's there. Pretty good for Sebastian to have the TCs where he has them. I was a little concerned for his gold initially. But that will be pretty well protected by any new Eagles that go out. And then, of course, his TCs are protecting everything else. Still has the Eagle mass. But TaToH's going to have 16 Cav Archers with Ballistics soon. So TaToH will fall behind economically. But I think Cav Archers and Castle Age are really good against Eagles. In Imperial Age is when it becomes a big problem. And what you can do is, you could switch into skirms in theory, right? But economically, it's just not really realistic to go for skirms at this point. Sebastian does not have the food eco to be able to make those switches and get those upgrades. So I think like a common reaction for the average player would be to just click Elite Skirm right now. And TaToH knows, Sebastian knows at this point, probably not worth it right now. Another thing the Incas have, by the way, is they have the armor on the villagers. So Incas just one bonus after another that they work so well with here. But TaToH has good control. And even though Sebastian has the TCs, he struggled to keep them working all the time. He is going to mix in some Scorpions. He did convert a Cav Archer to scout around the map. The Imposter will get killed there. But another group of Cav Archers coming forward from TaToH. And even though he doesn't have the town centers yet, he's just got so much army against Sebastian here. Sebastian loses a monk. But this is really difficult for TaToH to control. That's the thing. It's like the economic play, in many ways, is the more sure thing. And I don't know where that villager's going. But that villager's going to get picked off. A nice army control here from TaToH. You could probably start to breathe a little bit. You probably could drop that second town center somewhere. I love how TaToH built these walls. That's so difficult to do. And I love how aggressive he's consistently been here against Sebastian, killing another Vil, taking out some Eagles, and still pressuring Sebastian's base. I mean, Sebastian's added in the Scorpions, but Scorpions alone are not going to be enough against TaToH's army right now. It feels like Sebastian is hoping and praying that TaToH's going to have an overchop here, and TaToH is always on top of it. But TaToH does lose some of his Cav Archers here. They actually get stuck. And still a villager lead for Sebastian, and still 3 town centers. As TaToH has to re-wall the gold, and TaToH's still just on 1 TC. And Sebastian has had a little bit more time. He's clicked delete skirm. It feels like he could realistically get to a decent amount of skirms over time here. I'm trying to think about... You guys have me thinking about jokes now. But I don't think I would do... I don't think I would do my dad's jokes justice. They are very much dad joke, and I know I might have like partial dad energy at times. But maybe we'll have I'll invite my dad on stream at some point if you guys really want the dad jokes. Cav Archers are going to start to pick off these Eagles pretty quickly here. Like, Sebastian is doing his best, but this is a crazy Cav Archer count. And even like the skirmishers, Sebastian's going to need more than 4. He's going to need like 15 skirms with armor, with attack. He doesn't have a single upgrade yet. What I think TaToH has struggled to do is really stick with a group of Cav Archers. And it looks like now he's going to be able to do it. It's like fire some volleys and then keep following it. And Sebastian's just been so mobile. Sebastian now drops town center number 4. I mean, if Sebastian can just spread those farms around the TCs, he is still growing in a villager lead. There's a lot of Scorpions. Like, this could be difficult for TaToH. TaToH is on TC number 2, and TaToH's going to drop TC number 3 as well here, either on this gold or this gold, yeah. That's important because he is running out of this gold in the back. What happened here? TaToH is looking for the Eagles, and the Eagles were actually looking to hide exactly where TaToH was looking for him. Pelican Puncher says, I want the untold stories you would never tell us. I tell you guys a lot. There are 2 very embarrassing stories from my life that well, there's one I will never be able to tell stream. It is, I'm sure you guys would think it's hilarious, but it's also mortifying. There is one, though, which is going to be planned as part of content in the future. I've got, like, maybe the best story time. I don't believe I've told the story. I will tell you guys at some point. But right now, Scorpions engage, and Sebastian has stayed alive, and TaToH's got to be kicking himself there. But that's the thing. You look away for a second, and suddenly some of your army goes down. And now there's 16 skirms. There's Scorpions as well. Sebastian's eco is flying, and TaToH's going to need something other than CA. And Siege is actually really good. I like that. It's tricky if there's Eagles out, but if you have the Siege with your Cav Archers, Siege with Cav Archers is strong. The odd thing about that is that Cav Archer is speedy and you want to be moving around all the time. Siege is slow and clunky, so it kind of changes how you can approach things with the CA here. Satiric says, I once gave a funny speech in class with nonstop jokes for 5 minutes and nobody laughed once. Now that's funny. No, I'm kidding. I feel bad for you. I got one. I never told you guys this. How's this? If we're just telling embarrassing stories now, is that what we're doing? I signed up to like sing at this thing for like church camp, right? Because I liked the song, but I was too lazy and never made sure I knew the second verse. So I'm up there singing, which is already embarrassing enough because I can't really sing. And then the second verse came up, and I didn't know the words. And it's one of those things, like, when you sing along with the song, you think you know the words. But then when you're actually singing the song without the singer, you don't know the words. And so I just kind of stood up there and felt extremely awkward, you know? It was a great time. Hey, T90, will you be covering the finals as well? Well, if you're asking if I came online to cast the 3rd place match and then go leave, the answer is No, I'm not going to leave. Yes, I'm going to stick around for the final. Don't you worry. This is just the warm-up. Which is why, you know, it's a bit more of a relaxed approach. But it really has been a phenomenal game. And it's just Sebastian's been spamming units like a crazy man. But he still needs an answer to this crazy army from TaToH. TaToH's army is unbelievably strong. 40 Cav Archers in Castle Age is crazy. And, I mean, Sebastian's just dropping TCs in farmland right now just to protect his eco. The thing is, though, like, Sebastian is actually going to click up to Imp. I don't think that he is going to, you know, have that many Eagles or that much benefit to making it to Imp. At least, much immediate benefit. But this guy just will not die. And he has access to stone. He has access to gold. It's not like he's been pushed off of a critical resource. And he always has what feels like just enough to be comfortable against whatever TaToH is sending in. But TaToH has full armor on the light cav now. He's going to be sending more forward. And he picks off most of the Scorpions here. He picks off the skirmishers here. He's got Cav Archers and the light cav in the back of Sebastian's base on this side. But TaToH needs more light cav support with the main group of CA. They need to be able to push this hill. In fact, TaToH could be pushing this hill right now, honestly. But he's probably still just microing all of this. What Sebastian wants here is no surprise, right? He wants Elite Eagle. But it's going to be more difficult than that because... It's going to be more difficult than the enclosed game because there's so many different areas that he's exposed and he will get raided in. And even his Eagle production is going to be next to the production... Or, sorry, the attack from TaToH. TaToH still has not clicked up to the Imperial Age, though, guys. But, I mean, if he gets to the Imperial Age, I think recurve bow Cav Archers... They have, what, 7 plus 5 attacks? So they're doing 2 damage to fully upgraded Inca Eagles. And they have crazy range. I actually think the Cav Archers with a Hussar meat shield could be really good. Obviously, Vipers, Rats, and Archers weren't able to be enough. But what Sebastian will have is the timing. And he has just been booming away here. And TaToH still producing. He's even making Magyar Hussar right now. Let's go. Magyar Hussar, I think, is one of my favorite units in the game. Someone says, hi T90, after his amazing run in Warlords 3, what do you think Sebastian needs to work on to consolidate himself amongst the highest rated players? I mean, he just needs to keep doing what he's doing. And if he beats TaToH here in this best of 5, it's even just another example that Sebastian is in that top 5 conversation. Now, consistency is really the biggest thing for anyone, right? There's a lot of talented players. It's about getting those results consistently. Sebastian has at least consistently been stubborn in this game thus far. But he did lose 30 villagers, and TaToH is all over him until the wave of Eagles begins, guys. Someone says this is over. Well, this is over for who? Who exactly are you predicting this is over for? You predicting it's over for the guy who lost 26 vills? Well, that's fair. But there's also 40 Eagles, even though he lost 30 vills because Incas be Incas. And TaToH still hasn't clicked up to Imp. And TaToH is going to have some areas where he will get raided in. This is going to be really awkward for TaToH here. I think this game is very close right now. And honestly, it's going to be interesting to see if TaToH can survive this. The good news for TaToH is that he's going to have castles on 2 of his flanks. And will soon have a 3rd. And he still has... he has a good enough eco to add in knights or like hussars as a meat shield. I think you really want the knights because they just have so much more attack. But then you might not have the gold for more Cav Archers. And TaToH might actually have gold. He might run out of gold here. I think Sebastian will win this game. Just because of how many Eagles he has. Look at he's got 50 Eagles. How can you afford to have 50 Eagles after he's after he's lost 30 villagers? It's crazy. It's the same thing Sebastian did against Viper. And TaToH's got to build a castle in the back of his base right now. He just needs castles everywhere. The castles are his greatest friend right now. And Sebastian is exploding with population, guys. Like, he's got Eagles moving everywhere. He's going to build siege workshops on the side. TaToH's still 2 minutes from him. TaToH's Cav Archers are doing 1 damage a hit. And there's no way TaToH can avoid taking losses against these Eagles somewhere. Sebastian just sat back in Castle Age. He boomed like a madman against TaToH of all people, who's so good with aggression. Sebastian just held on, and TaToH is going to be completely dead by the time he makes it to Imp because of this Eagle raid. Elite Eagles with the Incas. He's got 60 of them, guys. 60! He's not stopping. And what I love about it is he goes to 7 different spots, right? He really spreads out here. That's exactly what you want to do. But it's pretty easy to do that when 10 Eagles could kind of disrupt TaToH's whole army. Sick. Sebastian is amazing with the Incas and has shown time and time again in this tournament how strong they are. And TaToH, he did mix in light cav. Like when he saw the skirms, he felt like I could mix in light cav and knights in front of my cav archers, but he was never able to get the kills that he wanted there. Beautiful play from him. I mean, it must be infuriating to play against. I look at this and I do find Sebastian's style very similar to Hera, who, if he's got like a greater economic civ, he's happy to just let you try and raid him for a while until he just explodes later on. Sebastian had stone, he had gold that whole time, and even though he lost 30 vills, he ends up killing 50 from TaToH, and TaToH calls the GG before TaToH even makes it to the Imperial Age. Crazy stuff. Now, what could TaToH do differently? I think he needs to find some better engagements. He just needs to kill more villagers. He needs to find more opportunities to find kills. Maybe needed to pressure this gold. He just needed to do what he was doing and be better at it. Which is sometimes not what you want to hear. Sometimes you want it to be a strategy choice. I think TaToH's strategy choice was actually fine. Because if you go only knights, the Incas could have the very cheap pikemen. But just needed slightly better execution there. Sebastian wins the first game here, this best of 5. Again, he collected more resources there. And someone just asked, like, what can Sebastian do to be more in that conversation of one of the guys, right? Beat TaToH. Beat TaToH. Now, consistency is a huge thing. But beating TaToH would be massive. So here we are, game number 2. After many, many restarts, it finally looks like both these players start with 9 villagers. So hype in chat. Thank you map scripters, if you fixed anything, or thank you Age of Empires gods for making sure things would work here. We've got Sebastian in the south looking to win this 3rd place match, playing as the Turks. And then in the north, we have TaToH playing as the Gujaras. And my expectation here is that TaToH will want to be aggressive and push through the palisades, get into Sebastian's base. And if he gets through there, the stone is on the front, and denying that from the Turks can be a really big deal. I wonder, like, if you expect it, what if you just go fast feudal scouts and just immediately destroy TaToH? I guess the risk there is if TaToH notices, TaToH will just not go forward with vills at all, and then your scouts are somewhat useless. But, I mean, the opponent still is the wall the outside. This is really nice for TaToH to be able to wall here, and also this wood line also allows the walls on the outside. So TaToH actually has a pretty good map, except for the gold, if he gets pushed. But I think, like, the main thing you're scared of here is, like, if Turks could just sit back, they get the light cav upgrade for free, which is so nice to contest for the 9 relics that are around on this map. Or they drop a castle and go for Janissaries, and that could just end you. So if this is a Stonewall version of the map, I don't think TaToH picks the Civ. Considering it's a Palisade version, I think that he will try and be aggressive in Tower Rush. Okay, so what was happening with the bug was that one of the players wasn't spawning with a Vill, right? And the Gujaras start with the berries underneath the TC. And so 6 of the Vills end up underneath the TC. I was speculating that one of the Vills wasn't spawning because of that. So funny, interesting story. Now, this part of this you're going to have to use your thinking caps for because you've probably never seen it before. But basically, I'm playing in this tournament called Mad Random, okay? And some of the maps are pretty mad. I uploaded the double arena one to my YouTube if you want to watch it. One of the maps, you start with like a chunk of wood right where this, what is that, moss? Whatever that is, okay? And so it's like this tile of wood underneath your TC that has 200 wood. It's a bit weird, right? Well, my opponents were picking Incas. And because the llama spawns there, right? Incas start with the free llama. Because the llama was spawning there or something, it wouldn't let them chop the wood for both of them. It was super weird. Because of a llama, both he and his teammate couldn't chop the wood, and then we basically had to replay it. And I was like, well, great to know my teammates have prepared that strategy, because I knew they probably never tested it, but I thought that was pretty wild. And we did the nice guy thing. We let him pick another civ. And then we played him. And then they bug abused in one of the other games on a map that was bugged, and they took advantage of it and beat us. And I'm not salty about it, Italy. I'm not salty about it at all. Not salty. Anyways, here comes TaToH. And this feels like it's going to be Tower Rush and Archers. And we've got the Tower. We've got the Camel Scout attacking. Sebastian's got to be like, how many times am I going to get freaking Tower Rush in this tournament? Remember, he got Tower Rushed against Yo in the quarterfinals, right? He then got Tower Rushed against Vinchester. He won against Yo. He lost against Vinch. We'll see what happens here. It's a best of 3 Tower Rush edition here for Sebastian. But he does not see the archer range. He does not know there will be archers as well. And in the other moments, what he did was he went siege quickly and pushed the towers back. TaToH does not have enough stone for that next tower, by the way. The stone timing is off. Also, I don't know if he was actually housed here, but he did delay Loom. And Camel Scout's going to run through for TaToH. Almost loses it. Important that he doesn't lose it so we can see where Sebastian's taking resources next. Also, extremely important for Sebastian to queue Loom. He doesn't know archers are going to be on the way yet. The fact that he doesn't know archers are on the way yet could be a really big deal here. If he forgets Loom, he will probably lose this game. He needs it before he clicks up to Castle Age. He honestly may end up being fine to get to Castle Age without Loom because of the way he's building his building. So I think, maybe it's all right. I think maybe you Stonewall here. NJ Nanny, I was not the one that originally designed this map. I used it, one of the versions in Titans League. I don't actually know the first tournament that used Fortified Clearing. I think the first version of Fortified Clearing was in the Resurgence. I think that was an event hosted by Jordan, actually. I think that was the first time I saw the map, but I don't know who created it. And Sebastian is just chilled here. And it's pretty much the same thing. So basically what I've noticed he does here, guys, it's really smart. Instead of adding farms for food eco and then losing on wood so he can't go for siege, he just buys the food. So he sends villagers on the gold. You'll see him buy food to produce vills. And then he still has the wood to be able to go for siege to push this tower back. And TaToH, walling up here. Someone asked me what I think about the Palisade version of this. I mean, we've seen Fortified Clearing in a lot of different events. I like the fact that it adds some variety. I don't think it's the best version of the map. I personally preferred other versions, but it adds different options, which I think is really good. And tower's going to go up. And Sebastian just continues to wall behind. And Sebastian he wants none of this. He simply does not want to engage. And here's the thing, guys. Like with the arena tower rush, it's obviously harder to break through into their walls. But it is much harder for them to counterattack you and kill you. If Sebastian clears this up relatively quickly, TaToH's nowhere close to clicking up the castle. TaToH's going to get smashed by Mangonels. And where's he going to go? I don't like TaToH's position at all here. This is not accomplished what he had set out to do. But I think he probably picked Gurjaris to do this. And he was... Oh, wow. Nice gate there from Sebastian. Look at that. Pro Tetris player. But yeah, my thinking right now is Sebastian is way ahead in this third place match. It just needs to ensure that his economy does get fixed a little bit. Buying food to produce villagers is still the key, but the siege should ultimately start pushing back these towers. Usually you look back here at the Tower Rush player and you think, this is, you know, a position where they're going to click up to Castle Age, but TaToH is nowhere close. Yeah, I'll toggle off the resources on map. Sorry, I have that up at the start and I leave it on sometimes. Oh my god, do not destroy your own town center. Oh, bro! Bro! Sebastian, what are you doing to my heart, bro? Guys, I've seen people lose castles at so many buildings doing what Sebastian did there. It was really close. He's going to start to attack this tower now. Res collected is similar, but it's 3 town centers. And TaToH has to go Castle Age in this town center. So TaToH will want, for 2.5 minutes, will not be able to produce any vills. And Sebastian, for that time, will be able to produce vills out of 3 town centers. This push has done nothing. I mean, I don't want to say it's done nothing. Sebastian's had to react to it, obviously, but Sebastian has reacted perfectly. He's just been so relaxed and so calm. TaToH even adding scouts now to try and ensure that the Mangonel can't push forward. There is still only 2 farms for Sebastian, and he's going to have to add more farms. But TaToH's going to see that it's 3 town centers for Sebastian and be like, what? The key for Sebastian, obviously, make sure he continues to repair his siege, which he's done. You'll eventually push the tower down. And actually adding this gate is pretty clutch because then TaToH can't send in more scouts. And there goes TaToH on the way. But yes, res collected's pretty close for now. Sebastian's eco has been disrupted. And TaToH's archers, I don't know if they're able to really go anywhere after their whole tower shenanigans. Over on this side, Sebastian as well. He always keeps his scout at solid HP, so he's attacking the scout there from TaToH. There's definitely things that he's thinking about that are small little details a lot of people don't. And the scout is one of them. Every game he's played, he's always been very patient with that scout, so he understands the importance of that later on. And yeah, here, TaToH just microing 3 archers in his opponent's walls now. And, I mean, continuing to micro this is going to be good because it makes life awkward for Sebastian, but he's just going to lose everything. And, oh, God, the gate opens. Awkward. This is actually good from TaToH. What he's doing right here is really nice because it's Sebastian's not able to focus on, like, just chilling out and adding farms. That's actually really good. Sebastian, 51 villagers. TaToH, 38. TaToH still 30 seconds away from Castle Age. TaToH has tried his best with this. He hasn't killed the unit. But he will have map control. And he will have vills in the middle. And he could potentially push the middle. There is still a world where TaToH can do some damage here. Almost feels like he will have to do some damage because of how unsuccessful the push was in the first place. Monastery for TaToH to snag the relics. Siege Workshop here. Probably to add his own siege. Sebastian, really heavy on stone, though, so Sebastian will probably plan on a castle. What would be nice for Sebastian is some vision in the middle, but it's going to be hard for him to get. And TaToH. TaToH saving the scout. Well played. This light cav ran the whole way just to be up against another scout. TaToH should win this fight as long as he gets the hill, and I'm surprised he didn't take it. And Sebastian... Oh, Sebastian gets the kill. That light cav, the MVP here. You could tell Sebastian is extremely paranoid that TaToH will raid him on the sides. So the walls also have really good play. Probably should do the same thing over here. TaToH is attacking with the scout, though. So TaToH will at least keep some pressure on this side. Sebastian's paranoid that there's going to be more coming. There's actually nothing else coming that direction, but he doesn't know that. And then there's also a push coming in from TaToH. Anybody else dizzy right now? Sebastian's got to worry about a lot. TaToH pretty much chilling right now. Which is, I think, the benefit of this strategy. Is you take control over the game, and you are the one kind of setting the pace. could be a little dangerous for TaToH, but I think Sebastian will complete his castle. And this shouldn't be too big of an issue. TaToH coming in here, trying to kill the Vills. Sebastian will not allow it. The castle's about to go up. TaToH knows it. TaToH backs away. Nice job, Sebastian. 25 villager lead here for Sebastian, who honestly is just in the perfect position. Like, there's some small things. I think getting some eco upgrades, right? Maybe adding a stable, which, oh, he does have, to make light cav to stop TaToH from getting the relics. I also think that making lots of Janissaries is actually quite good. I know a lot of people are going to say, but Shravamshas. And I actually don't think Shravamshas are that good against a big ball of Janissaries. I think Janissaries will actually, in time, kill them. At least Janissary Camel is really strong. It's just, will Sebastian be able to use the additional villagers correctly right now? He's certainly simplifying his situation by walling up the side. So that allows him to push towards the middle here. What TaToH needs in this game is he needs some good engagements, and he needs to get all the relics and hold the middle, right? If this goes late, could be better for TaToH, but being behind by 30 villagers at this level usually isn't a good sign. It's really felt like Sebastian, every time he's been tower rushed, is just so... It seems like he knows how to deal with it. Like, he did the same thing. Granted, it's been Turks every... Well, no, and I think another time was Bohemians, but... He essentially has had the same approach, and it's worked pretty well every time. TaToH dropping TC number 4 to catch up. TaToH has 5 relics, but it's in this monastery. And Sebastian, he's trying to get a gauge for what's happening here in the darkness. Look at Sebastian's scouting. That's actually really cool. And he's going to see the monks. The outpost will give him vision on that monastery. Oh, man. If only he knew how many relics were in there, man. I mean, that's your target. This position is your target. A castle next to TaToH's walls, anywhere close to that monastery would be so good. But it's scary out there, man. You don't know what's happening in the darkness. But, I mean, it makes sense that's where there's going to be relics. I just don't think there's normally... Well, I mean, there's 5 in the middle, right? So if he thinks TaToH got all of them in the middle, it would be 5, yeah. But, guys, you don't think about it that way as a player. You're just like, okay, monks are there. We need to push. And then later on, you're like, oh, 5 relics. It's like, oh, nice little friendly surprise. So, I mean... Sebastian, his civilization has light cav, right? So he's just going to mix in some light cav, starting to add some farms now. And, like, if Sebastian goes in with light cav, he kills all this. He doesn't even need anything else. Like, TaToH is extremely vulnerable right now. TaToH is going to try and get some damage in over here by converting a Vill. And the villager would rather die than join TaToH's side. And the light cav go in. That's 1 monk dead. That's going to be 2 monks dead. That's going to be 3 monks dead. That's going to be 2 siege units dead. And then this is Sebastian's perfect time to run forward and drop a castle if he thinks that's the play. TaToH's imping. TaToH is imping right now, which Sebastian can't say. But he just doesn't have an army to protect the middle area right now. And this is where Sebastian needs to bring the Vills. It's perfect. It's the perfect time for Sebastian to come forward and drop a forward castle. And, oh, TaToH's dropping a castle there. Ooh, this might be a doubt castle. I don't know if this castle goes up. TaToH only has 9 Vills building it, and Sebastian saw it. And Sebastian has Janissaries and Siege. TaToH will try with his Shravamsha Riders to distract, but even he knows that this is a problem. And so he's bringing more villagers, but there's light cav and there's camels. And TaToH did bring more Vills. TaToH should complete the castle now. Got a little dicey there for TaToH. But it does actually protect his relics, too. He's already brought in 1,000 gold from those relics. And then Sebastian is also up to Imp. So, what's great for TaToH here is the fact that he's got a pretty nice lead going up to the Imperial Age. Which I wasn't expecting. Like, based on how the booms were going, it feels pretty wild to me that TaToH's up first. TaToH still, I think, is going to struggle with military, but if you're going to go for a unit here, it's got to be Shravamshas when you see that many Janissaries out there. If you guys are new to my content, I'm not a big fan of the Shravamshas. I feel as though... But the way it works is it... And we put quotes around it. It dodges. It doesn't actually dodge the shots. It's not how the bonus works. It just basically has like an armor, basically. It can receive so many shots, and then once the armor's gone, it can be pretty flimsy. My issue with the Shravamsha is... I feel as though they die very quickly once that armor or that dodge is gone. Like, I feel like it is very, very fast. And for a unit here that's 17 attack, it doesn't need many hits to kill a Shravamsha Rider. And remember, Sebastian can also make camels. Like, he is expecting Shravamsha. There is no question here. Like, Gurjaras do not have good units out of their archery range. What the... Who needs a tower when you can wall in a Janissary here? That is something else there, Sebastian. Okay. Wow. Talk about stone savings. TaToH's going to drop a castle here. That's funny, man. Big Mangonel shot from TaToH? No. Mangonel goes down. But TaToH has Trebs out already. TaToH has given himself a really good shot here. Like, this situation is so much better than I thought it would be when I saw Sebastian's lead. He has 7 relics. He's actually taking the relics into the back now. So, because he knows he might lose the monastery. And he'll probably take out Sebastian's castle here. Sebastian is going for, or will be going for bomber cannons here in a second. The Turks getting that chemistry upgrade for free. Means they're going to rush that in, rush out those bomber cannons right away. But if TaToH has a little bit of time to hold here, especially with Shatras here, which is 25% discount on all your food units, could be really strong. And maybe a combination of Camel and Shravamsha could do it, especially if he can have some time to rest and save up resources for Elite Shravamsha. But TaToH's got 12 army. Like, he's getting techs, but he has so little army right now. And he will lose these 3 relics, though... What side they pop out on the monastery is kind of a big deal. That's good for TaToH. Because TaToH could realistically snag those with those monks. And he will possibly be on the way. But this castle just went up. This castle's now about to just crash right down here for TaToH. I just don't think TaToH can kill Sebastian's army here, guys. I think there's no hope. Like, right beyond this is his entire economy. He needs to engage against this. But Camel and Janissary here, and Bombard Cannons, and Trep, this is just... Sebastian's played amazing. He's played incredible today. He's played incredible all tournament, man. TaToH is in everyone's top 5, right? Like, I mean, I can't speak for every human on Earth, of course. But if you were to make a ranking of Age of Empires players, I think you would just have to put TaToH in your top 5 conversation. And Sebastian was not before Warlords. And Sebastian, already top 5 in this event, wants to be 3rd place in this event, and he's made it look easy, man. Sebastian's played amazing. TaToH really has just not had it today. And Sebastian, he's making me feel like Tower Rush on this map is just not a good play. I don't know. He just made it look super easy. The way he said, okay, I'll go 1 farm. I'll send 10 on gold. I'll use the market to buy food. I'll push back your towers, and I'm going to be on 3 town centers. It was just super smooth from him. And, like, the chaos that TaToH was trying to create really didn't phase him at all. Also, TaToH didn't find any resources. Like, when TaToH came in, he didn't find any resources that Sebastian was taking. So I think the Tower Rush is also a gamble, because you're hoping that the resource they're taking is on the front, which would have been the gold. And normally denying the stone from the Turks is good, but like if the Turks aren't taking stone and you just do what Sebastian does, you could just take down the towers and then take stone later. He didn't actually plan on taking stone early at all, and he just used his back resources. Sebastian up 2-0. You look at the resources collected, I mean, not only do I think the Turks have better units, But when you collect more of every resource, it's going to be tricky to compete there. 26 to 7 KD obviously would have been much worse. And yeah, I mean, TaToH just, maybe he needed Vils on the side. Maybe he could have tried something there. I don't know. Both players very speedy, similar in that regard. Just Sebastian with the more macro-oriented play today. It has been tons of eco for Sebastian all day. TaToH, right now, looking like he's going to be 4th place in Warlords 3. Absolutely still not a bad performance, but he's gone for the Koreans here and hope to get a win. Here we are on Alpine. And, excuse me. Last time I saw the Koreans won on this map, I believe. And they went for Spears and Skirms. Sebastian loves his Khmer. He's done it before, and he went for Scouts. So my expectation is we're going to have Scouts from Sebastian, and then TaToH might actually just try and smother the opponent with Spears, Skirms. Maybe some towers, but there's no easy stone access around your TC, so I don't think we're going to see too many towers in the early game here. And TC just weakening the boars. We do have some horses running around and some Vils running around trying to snag the boars or lame the boars. Nothing too crazy. Koreans do have tons of vision. These guys are walking around with 20/20. So they could see a lot, but not enough for TaToH to see that boar. So I don't think TaToH, I guess he's decided at this point he's not going to be able to stop Sebastian from bringing in the boars. And Sebastian's horse also not able to delay TaToH from bringing in the boars. I think it's going to end up being 4 boars for both. But Sebastian's going to be up faster, which is to be expected. And so the reason it's expected, maybe Sebastian ended up getting 5 here, actually. He definitely had 1 before. Now he has 2 underneath the TC. He's got this one, and he's got this one. Yeah, I think Sebastian has 5, and TaToH has 3, which is really big. So it really has not been TaToH's day, but the Khmer don't need to build a barracks. What I would actually like to see here as an option for Sebastian, and he's not going to do it, he's probably just going to go for scouts, but I actually wouldn't mind seeing, like, archers here. Because the opponent is always going to expect the scout play. If you maybe go for some archers to pick off some spears, then maybe transition back into scouts later could be really strong. Obviously, I think going archers long-term against the Koreans can be rather tricky. They do have the armor on their ranged units, which is really helpful on skirmishers, but I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's like, are Khmer good enough at going scouts where your opponent can expect it and you can still win? Probably. And it is an aggressive option with which Sebastian tends to love, right? And we're going to see an archer range, actually, for Sebastian. Interesting. So this might actually just be skirms, because most people have just gone for skirms on this map. That's the one option I failed to mention. TaToH adding his barracks rather late, actually. So he won't be able to build his range right away. And so it just feels like so awkward to have to add the barracks and be up later compared to the build from Sebastian right now. And we've got skirms on the way out of the range. And once again, guys, I will attempt to make this skirmisher battle the most exciting possible, okay? So please, respect the efforts. Sebastian just finished his second skirmisher. Second skirmisher at the 7th minute, guys. The best skirm timing we've seen so far today. No loom yet for TaToH as he tries to start the range. But I mean, if you think skirm is the way to do it, then like, if you think skirm is the way to play this map, and you're in Sebastian's shoes right now, up 2-0, staring at your opponent who hasn't completed the archery range, you're feeling pretty good about the situation. And TaToH thinks, I've got to catch up in the skirm war. And he drops a second range. 2 range skirmishers? Sorry, again, it's like skirmishers don't really kill that quickly. It's maybe not a unit that is that exciting to watch. The thing is, because skirms don't kill villagers that quickly, that could be a benefit for TaToH. But with hills involved, they're taking more damage than usual, and it will get messy. stable from Sebastian. It feels perfect, right? It's like, okay, my opponent's catching up to me with what? Skirmishers. All right, let's make scouts now. I like the ranged opening, man. It's really nice because TaToH won't make spearmen, whereas if you open scouts, he would have spears everywhere. Or walls or something. Khmer are just so good with the start. You could just get up so fast. And remember, it was 5 boars. 5 boars for Sebastian and 3 for TaToH. There's 600 more food for Sebastian. And he can skip his buildings. So if you're wondering, like, how's this happen? It's those things right there. TaToH has done his best. I mean, he does have the cheaper skirms. And he has stabilized quite nicely. But just Sebastian able to get an edge because of getting more boars. Oh, wait. Sebastian took 4 boars. He didn't actually know about this one. Okay. So 4 boars for him and 3 for TaToH then. I like the farming eco from both. TaToH does not know his opponent has a stable here. Scouting with this horse is critical. TaToH didn't see that yet, but you could tell his scout is moving around right now. He does know that Sebastian's around his woodline. And TaToH dropped a tower. Ooh. So actually, I really like the tower idea because it even helps you defend from the scouts. And now Sebastian can't really do much damage anywhere. Especially if TaToH moves off the hill, which he has. I think Sebastian is expecting some aggression from TaToH. I think TaToH is expecting some scouts because it is just the natural thing for the Khmer to do in this position. It's just, obviously I explained it in Dark Age. TaToH's already thinking about it. And all of your military that costs wood is the Koreans is discounted by, I think, 50%. So TaToH is able to flood a lot of these. It's kind of similar to how Sebastian made so much trash with the Incas in Feudal Age and the Land Madness game. Only that was just because of a food discount. Is it 15 or 50? I don't even know. It just feels cheap. It feels like 50%. There is a percentage off. I actually don't know the number. That was what? Last year they did that? Give me another year. I'll have that memorized. 50% on Archer and Infantry. Okay. Or Archer and... Well, it wouldn't be a... I guess it would be on Spears in this case, right? Because it's wood discount. Nice job from TaToH to take the hunt. TaToH is to be really careful with these Spears. These Spears, they need to stay alive here. And Sebastian hoping to engage. If he kills those Spears, all of TaToH's skirmishers will die. It's been good micro from Sebastian so far. And it's just been... He just is not hesitating here. And TaToH's hoping to get some hits. But anytime his Spears actually stop to engage, the skirmishers are going to be ready for Sebastian. At least with this particular fight, this looks like this could be extremely good for Sebastian. And he knows it. You could tell TaToH knows it as well. Because TaToH's trying to get the heck out of here. And those Spears are going to go down. And it's just inevitable that TaToH's going to lose every single skirmisher here. And meanwhile, just kind of wondering if the smother technique doesn't work. What is the plan for TaToH? He's over here camping the gold for the time being. Sebastian is going to be on this gold as Sebastian gets armor now. So now these scouts could be devastating and these scouts could end up killing villagers as well. But guys, TaToH's up to 8 more spears. TaToH's got crazy farm eco. He's not done yet with spears and skirms. Like, he's like, okay. I love how many skirms Sebastian has made, though. Like, Sebastian doesn't have any skirm bonuses, but he's made 15 of them. TaToH is going to be on 15 as well, though. And TaToH's eco is not being hit. Like, TaToH has the map control, and TaToH gets to chill. So, 15 to 4 KD for Sebastian, but he's going to have his work cut out for him to protect his villagers right now. He'll hope to swoop in and find another attack, but this is way different than before. There's 8 spearmen now from TaToH. I think he should make more. Because Sebastian's response to this is just going to make more skirms and make more spears. Sebastian can maybe use these scouts and use their mobility. Kills the skirmisher there. What does TaToH choose to do? It's tough. The spears and the skirms have to be together. So, but TaToH has to decide on if he defends himself or if he attack Sebastian right now. Sebastian hasn't been to this wood line in a bit. Remember, there were villagers there. He didn't know TaToH repositioned like that. That spearman goes down. You can tell TaToH's quick walling a lot of things right now, and also still moving forward to attack Sebastian, who's dropping a very awkward tower in his wood line. And yes, you can hop in your houses if you are Khmer. But you are still in your house, not collecting resources. Now, I'm not trying to discourage people from having a day off. All right? It's a weekend right now. You guys should be in your house. You should be chilling. But in a time of war, you need to be working. You need to be bringing in resources. And the Khmer villagers are not doing that right now for Sebastian. But at least they're not dead. TaToH has lost 3 villagers. He can't hop inside of houses. And a nice job from Sebastian to basically defend with the house bonus. And then also attack at the same time. These villagers leave this house. They move to this house. And Sebastian's about to click up. We might have a 3-0 here, guys. Again, just another statement from Sebastian on how good he is playing. And what a crazy tournament from him, right? Remember, he was the first player to take any wins off of Viper. That was in the semifinal yesterday. He played really well. Some of the wins that Viper snagged, it felt like if Sebastian had some minor changes, as he loses villager there, he could have been maybe taken Viper to the 7th game. Another villager snipe there, just immediate on TaToH. TaToH's just going to camp the farms, which I really like, but Sebastian is going to be up to Castle Age. Sebastian needs to move these vills away, though. Kind of expected him to do that. But maybe the downside of microing so heavily in this position here. Micros needed from TaToH. That is quite possibly the most awkward lumber camp of all time. Some of these villagers are actually going to be trapped here for TaToH because of the way he's house-walled this. So I think these 4 villagers could eventually die. And TaToH might need to bring his army over. Meanwhile, he's got a ball of he's got a ball of trash over here. Oh, this is such an awkward situation for both. I think Scorpions would be amazing for Sebastian right now. His Civ is insane with Scorpions. Looks like TaToH was able to run away with his vills after deleting the lumber camp, so that's 100 wood gone. It is just messy. Messy, 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 because both players have so much freaking army. But TaToH's going to be up in 2 minutes, and he has 37 army. Like, his army is ridiculous. Siege Workshop surely needs to be the first thing for Sebastian. I mean, making some knights could be great. Upgrading the skirms could be great. Getting the light cav upgrade, that's great. But if there's ever a time to make Scorpions, this is it, dude. It's not a unit I would expect from a player like Sebastian, though. Player like Sebastian wants to stick with Skirm Knight, Skirm Knight, Skirm Knight, Eco. Slow Siege is really not something that suits his skill set. Man, he's really taken some good fights here, though. Like, he has never had the army lead, except for that early feudal moment. He's taken some really good fights. Okay, chat, can someone just please say Scorpions in chat? Can we just make Sebastian make Scorpions here? Because, like, come on. You cannot convince me that 8-range Scorpions is not a good move here. I cannot be convinced, especially since units are trapped. Oh, man. His micro has been so good. I mean, he's just playing so well here. This army from TaToH is looking for more damage, for more things to idle here. Okay, Sebastian's going to try and engage against this because he knows TaToH's army is only going to get stronger. But TaToH runs away because he caught a glimpse of that army and is getting the pikeman upgrade. The pikeman is key here. Pikeman will be in 10 seconds. Sebastian will engage before pikes. 3 seconds now till pikeman. Pikeman's going to be in. And this fight with pikeman is good enough for TaToH. That upgrade was perfectly timed. But he needs some pikemen to protect his skirms over here, so he's going to just whoop right in towards the wood line. What a messy game. As Sebastian panicking down a TC here. TaToH can't afford a lead skirm right now, which is really hurting him. If he had a lead skirm, it would be a lot better because he's got 25 skirms. But he's just missing the gold for that, and the TC for Sebastian will go up. but he will also lose another villager there. And TaToH will drop TC number 2. And Sebastian's been pretty heavy on stone here, guys. Sebastian is definitely planning on a castle. And I think he's just going to fight this because he knows that it's only 4 pikes for now. But he feels like if those pikes get killed off, the skirms are going to be easy pickings for him. And yeah, who needs a scorpion? Just make more knights. Make more knights, make more eco. The knights won't engage. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. How are they not attacking? There we go. How are they not attacking? How are they not attacking? There we go. Actually huge for TaToH, those knights aren't engaging. Because he can get a couple more pikemen over here. Knights started to get some hits. Pike's getting some damage in as well, though. And Sebastian will have to move away there while still microing here. Man, this is so high level with micro. It's crazy. Not just the micro, the eco as well. Like, they are flying, man. But I think these messy games suit the Khmer because of how good their food eco is. You can tell when these players have eco upgrades looking like what they've researched here, that it's a messy game. In other situations, maybe you could say, how do they not have that? In this map, I think maybe it just makes sense. TaToH is maintaining a really large army, and Sebastian doesn't have a freaking siege workshop. I mean, I think the weak point for him has been he needs something combined with his knights at home. Here, his knights are going to go down to TaToH's TC. And now TaToH, for the first time in a while, won't be raided by something. And so he... Well, I guarantee you this villager's stealing a farm because of the bug. He is going to be dropping a forward castle, I think. Yeah, basically, I've noticed on this map that if your villagers finish a farm... Instead of reseeding a farm, if the enemy farm is over there without a vill, they will actually walk over to it. I don't know if that's actually what was happening there, but that was my theory. Sebastian actually, did he sell his stone? Well, he sells 300 stone so he can get +2 armor on his knights. So he's actually delaying the castle ID. See what I mean? This is a bug. I think it's a bug. I still haven't asked the devs about it. But TaToH did not do that intentionally. The vills just walked over to Sebastian's empty farms. This has been happening all tournament. I think usually to steal the enemy farms, you have to like manually click them over to an enemy farm. But right now, they will actually just... They would just steal... Maybe TaToH did that on purpose. But they will steal the enemy farm. TaToH stole it and deleted it. And now he's here again. This is on purpose. It's weird though. See, look, she didn't do that one with her. See what I mean? Maybe this guy was intentional, but she did not do that under TaToH's control. And here goes a castle drop from Sebastian, and this is going to be crazy. He's got this army to deal with, but he's making scorpions finally. And a castle in the middle of the map from Sebastian, which is precisely what Winchester did against him in a very different game on this map, which ended up winning Winchester the game in one of their earlier sets in this tournament. Sebastian has the villager lead. Sebastian has the scorpions now. TaToH cannot easily engage now that the scorpions are out. This castle is going to be up, which means TaToH's main TC is going to go down. And Sebastian is about to sweep TaToH here in the third place match. He's playing so incredibly well. And honestly, I think these villagers are just going to automatically take TaToH's farms anyways. So it kind of works out. Look, he's not trying to do that. The vills are just going there on their own. But TaToH, you might want to delete those farms because you don't want those to be Sebastian soon. No elite skirm for these skirms, but man, have these skirms gotten value this game. Still picking off pikemen here or there. And now when you've got a castle in your face, you've got to... You just have to forget about this and expand to the other areas. And TaToH has done that. He's got 4 town centers out here. He does have 17 pikes. The theme, though, with TaToH's units is, at this point, now that they're scorpions, he's not really going to be able to damage Sebastian and threaten Sebastian, which is going to allow Sebastian to have some pretty crazy economy back at home. Because he's done everything that he's done while not being under any pressure. Or, sorry, while being under a lot of pressure. And now it doesn't feel like he's going to be under any pressure at all. I don't wonder how much pressure TaToH's feeling right now. Like, he's definitely feeling the pressure in the moment against Sebastian, right? Like, Sebastian just puts you under all sorts of stress. TaToH will be very happy with his results this tournament. TaToH, I think, like, a player like TaToH will look and say, well, I want to be top 4. That's my minimum. If I get top 4, I'm happy. It's so difficult to do that. I know we assume that a player's just going to make it, but it's so difficult for all these players to be consistently at the top. And they all respect how good the opposition is. And TaToH's Knights are now going to be combined with the Scorpions that, again, have 8 range with the Khmer. So TaToH really just can't get anywhere near this. TaToH's horse is in the mix there, and Sebastian continues to move forward. Here comes TaToH, though. TaToH with skirms and spears, some type of a counterattack that's needed here. Look at the eco upgrades for Sebastian. You could tell he did an eco upgrade check. He's like, hold on, it's been messy. What am I missing here? And, oh, everything? Okay, let's get everything. Castle Age Wood and Farm upgrade. Getting Wheelbarrow now. Still needs to deal with this. Still needs some more Scorpions. They're on the way, though. And it was a good move from him to push forward with these Scorpions, I think. He can't really kill TaToH because TaToH has all these TCs. And TaToH will even drop a castle here. So this game might go late, but he's disrupting TaToH more than the stats are showing right now. Maybe the stat to look to is actually the idle eco time at the bottom left. And even the idle TC time for TaToH. And again, 2 Scorpions push this army away. And oh! You can tell TaToH's thinking maybe he's not paying attention. And maybe I can just use the pikes here. That's actually decent. But if he turns around to engage against the Knights, the Scorpions could still get hits. Sebastian will take this. Sebastian will win this fight. Sebastian still running away from TaToH's TCs everywhere. TaToH needs a Mangonel to deal with this. Doesn't have a stable, can't consider Knights. And I mean, the resources collected just so firmly in the lead for Sebastian right now, as his economy is just flying back at home. He's going to have 15 Knights. You could toss the Khmer farms anywhere. It doesn't matter how awkward they look. Gotta love it. I do think, though, that TaToH has made himself somewhat unbreakable in Castle Age. He has a castle up on the right. He's got TCs everywhere. All of this seems like a good position for Sebastian to maybe finish it off in Imp, but in Castle Age, TaToH will stay in this. So Sebastian needs to be careful he's not wasteful here. War Wagons are actually a really good unit as well if you can get a lot of them. Sebastian's just going to engage. He's actually, both players are looking over here. You tell TaToH is repairing. But yeah, TaToH's going to look back over here and lost some wagons, though. And maybe like a castle. It's a bit weird. I don't know if you could drop a castle up here, but a castle here would be sick. Khmer do always have an issue with what their army comp is in Imp. Because unit-wise, they're much worse than the Koreans, I would say. Even though the Koreans are one-sided. But Koreans have crazy cheap trash. Great siege. Gunpowder. Khmer archers are kind of eh. Especially against Koreans. Khmer cav. Could be awkward against heavy pike play. And TaToH's got 5 TCs to spam Vils. He's got tons of stone. TaToH's not going anywhere. I think trebuchets are going to have to change this game, and then upgrades for Sebastian on his Cavalier. Because if you get Cavalier with armor, you could fight off the pikes and the wagons pretty much no problem. And then also he could raid underneath the TCs with greater success. He's just going to continue this way. Sebastian, just more knights. More knights and more Vils over here. A monk went down for Sebastian. No relic for him. TaToH might snag that. Here, though, Sebastian's got a really strong knight force. But still has to be careful. I think Pike and War Wagon is TaToH's comeback condition. I think Pike War Wagon is way better than Sebastian's comp, provided that they're in the same age. That will not be the case here in a moment, though. TaToH builds another defensive castle. Well, TaToH will feel like, man, how, like, really? How was he up to Imp? But if you think about it, I don't think, maybe it won't be too much of a surprise, right? The eco has still been just untouched for Sebastian and he's Khmer. He also killed a lot of villagers from TaToH. TaToH killed a fair amount from him, though, to be fair. And TaToH now catching up on some eco upgrades he didn't have. But Cavalier's about to be in. Sebastian not even going for a trap, just going for conscription. He's going to try and raid TaToH to death here. And TaToH is a castle on the left and the right side. Could maybe even build another castle. This will get cleared up. Sebastian will clear this up and he'll be able to breathe here. I don't know if TaToH can make it to Imp. Like, his food count is really not rising. I guess it's because he has to get upgrades and he has to go for pikes. This is a lot of Cavalier. Is one defensive castle enough here? Sebastian says, okay, I'm just going to go for your town centers. TaToH trying to run, so he knows his TC will go down. Here, there will probably be Cavalier to swoop in and kill this. Now the Cavalier are just going to switch over to this CC. It kind of feels like he's trying to guess which one TaToH is going imp in. But I promise you that's not the case. He's just trying to kill as much eco and as much military as possible. And this is a good fight for Sebastian. Might not think it because he's underneath TCs and he's underneath castles. But with the armor and the upgrades, he just kills all of TaToH's army. He's idling TaToH's eco. And then he's also pushing in here. And again, the theme is Sebastian's eco is flying, guys. Every game, his economy has just been insane. And he's going to have 150 vills behind this. So, you know, he only killed like 10 villagers from TaToH in Imp so far. But TaToH just has no answer to the onslaught that is Sebastian right now. And Sebastian's brought over Trebs. The Trebs actually have a perfect little hill. So TaToH's castle here will go down. And TaToH is left hoping that these house walls and quick walls will keep the Cavalier out. And it actually will keep the Cavalier out until the house actually goes up and burns down. And now those vills die, and now these vills die. And Sebastian, third place in Warlords 3. This guy has had a crazy run in this tournament. To 3-0 TaToH. After, coming back from 3-1 down against Yo in the first round, beating Vinchester 4-2 in the second round, and then taking 2 wins off of Viper in the semifinal, losing 4-2, just adds to the pedigree and adds to the confidence that he should have moving forward in Age of Empires. Really exciting times. Obviously, before the final's got to be fantastic. 2 of the very best. But I hope people remember Sebastian. I think Sebastian's performance in this tournament is exciting for the scene, man, to have new players playing this good. Very rare for the scene, and certainly one to look out for in future tournaments. He's had an incredible rise from where he was just a few years ago. He's 22 years old. He's got a lot to be proud of. I do feel in some ways TaToH underperformed a little bit today. I also feel TaToH will look back at maybe some of his strategies and some of his draft, both in the semifinal and this third place match, as being a little rough. Now, it is because he was up against 2 excellent opponents who maybe countered those strategies quite well. But TaToH lost like 2 games with the Gurjaras. He lost the game with Tatars. Maybe he allowed some Civ picks here or there, at least particularly in the semifinal. But again, TaToH, he's top 4. He's just 4th place in Warlords. He'll be very happy with that. This third place match was just a best of 5, and obviously what follows it is a best of 9 final. So people on YouTube, obviously, look out for that final. Final will be on the main channel, and then everyone here on the live stream. That was just our warm-up, right?